network to the world. Subscribe now to the Hot 97 YouTube channel. It's Ebro in the Morning with Laura Stiles and Rosenberg.
All right, this guy's a legend. An icon, if you will. He's on Ebro in the Morning. He's got a new project. He back outside. Give it up one time. The Snowman's here. Jeezy, one time. Big Bob Bang.
Snow, what it do, baby?
Now, let's get to the money you making, because you don't walk around with products in your hand for no reason.
Yeah, it's a lifestyle. You know what I mean? I live this. First of all, this is my water right here.
Yeah.
Defiance Fuel. It's athlete's water. We actually got racehorses that drink it as well. They have been winning the Kentucky Derby, so it's like scientifically put together. So it's a real thing. And I'll tell you about who's interested in buying this in a few.
Okay.
And I'm walking around right here with my Naud Cognac. Shout out to Naud. Naud is a company out of Cognac, France. It's a distillery.
Has to be a cognac. It has to be from cognac.
But they're a distillery, right?
Right.
They're 5 generations, right? And everything you can think of, from Grey Goose to Hennessy to Moet to everything, is what they distill.
Right.
This is the brand that they made off their family name. And we have cognac, vodka, and gin for Naud.
Got it.
And they serious.
Wow.
So
let me see the bottle.
So now, you, sir, can't stop hustling.
Yeah.
You can't stop doing business. Let's say it in that way.
Right.
From the early days till now.
Right.
Tell me what your energy is right now as far as just a businessman versus an artist. Like, what's that balance for you? Because I think where you are in your career,
right,
you had hits, you got, you get on stage and do an hour and a half.
It feels heavily business. It feels
2 hours sometimes.
2 hours, yeah. Of hits, though.
Yeah.
Got joints.
But so how do you balance, like... And a lot of people, especially for artists, this is great, right? Like, you get to make music and do business at the same time, and figure out ways to leverage music into endeavors and vice versa. So tell us where you at in the game.
Well, it's a great question, by the way. I think, I know that in the beginning that music was my talent.
Right.
I understood what it was to make a record. But business has always been my passion.
Okay.
I wanted to do business in the end of this anyway. That was the vision I had for myself, because I just felt like that's who I am. When I was in the block, when I was on the street, I really ran the business. I ran it the right way. I ran it safe. Right. I didn't get caught up. Thank God I made it out the game without a stain on my jersey, because I ran a tight ship. And music was just, I learned from music. I understood music. I love it to this day. But I also understand that that's just a small fraction of who and what I am. And business was the thing for me, because you don't just walk off the street and just go straight into business. You have to build some type of credibility. So when I took the Snowman and made it a brand, when I showed people I understood marketing by giving out all those Trap or Die CDs to get a buzz, when I went to Def Jam and negotiated my deal, when I went to Bad Boy and negotiated my Boys in the Hood deal, at the same time that I was on Def Jam, because I knew Jay and Puff, and I did all those things, it was just like, this is what I want to do. So I just took time to start understanding and getting in other rooms to hear conversations about business, which was why when I wrote The Recession, it was so detailed, because I was in a room with people that were talking about a recession that I knew had money, and they were concerned. And I didn't know what recession meant. I went in the bathroom and Googled it and came back and got in the conversation, because now I want to know. But when I got to the recession, I'm just like, I got to really figure out what my next 10, 15, 20 years are going to be like. And that's when I really started reading more, just understanding, just having conversations, asking the questions. And then I just got an understanding that it's really not much different than what you do on the block. That's why they call it an entrepreneur, because you're just putting your time and your energy into something, and you're making it, tangible.
And you're understanding profit margins.
Right. In business.
Yeah.
And when I started to get in those different rooms and meet different people, like I met one of my guys, Tony, he really put me down with the real estate game, because I always wanted to tell people I own real estate just for pop my shit.
The stunt, right.
Right, but this is a real thing. So I went and bought all these properties, and I came back 2.5 years later after touring. He's like, let's do lunch. Let me show you what you've made. And I'm like, made? I think I'm just paying on my properties. Here it is, these properties went up, 2-3 times what I paid for them. I'm like, we ain't did nothing. He's like, that's what I've been. He's like, that's what I've been trying to tell you. Right. So ever since that day, every big check I ever got, I bought some property. For my birthday every year, I buy some property, I buy my kids property. For any time that I celebrate something, when the Snowfall come out, I'm gonna buy some property instead of buying a chain or a watch or a car. I'm like, that's my thing because I'm addicted to like building something
Growth.
that wasn't there. You know what I'm saying? Like this is what we never had. I never owned land. My family didn't come up owning land. And my thing is, when you ask that question is, I feel like that's my responsibility. Because I hate the word OG. I know you do too. Like, that shit is whack. Like, nothing rigid about gangster. But I am the big homie.
Yeah.
And it's just like, yo, man, like, there's another way to do this. You know what I'm saying? There's another way to really have real paper, like to the point where, you know, these properties and all these things you're doing are paying for your lifestyle.
That's right.
You know what I mean? The life that you live. And you don't have to even go in your own
Well,
money.
and I think one of the most important pieces that people miss is your money working
For you.
for you.
If your money is in the bank or the safe, you losing. Right now, if it's in your bag, it's in your pocket, you losing.
That's right.
It doesn't matter. And the thing, you always want your money to work for you so you don't have to work. Because the end of the day is you want to be debt-free and you want to be in a position that where you're living off of what you created and you don't have to even touch what you have.
Some of that, though, and you know, I've known you a long time now. And I've known you from when you had rapper ego, right? You would come in here and you couldn't even laugh with us.
Right.
You were serious. Like, we would crack jokes. You'd be looking around like, ain't shit funny, bro. I'm here to get...
No, he was living the character, bro. It was all the time.
But I knew you outside of that, so I knew you could laugh and have a good time. But when it was time to be a rapper, it was rapper time. Right. And that's why I ask you, because part of what I've seen in you is the ability to not be concerned. I don't have nothing to prove to nobody anymore. A level of freedom, right? Like even the Gucci Jeezy Verzuz, I was like, nah, both of these guys have evolved to a space where this is about legacy. This is about what we're gonna do for people who are watching and needing a blueprint for success, right? And you even on that stage, no distractions, nothing that was said took you out of why you were there in that moment. So how much of your ego have you, you know, been able to grow? You know what I'm saying? And become more of a real adult, not just ego, not somebody who got something to prove.
Well, let me say this. The ego is your worst friend ever.
That's right.
It will have you in some shit you can't even get out of. You know what I'm saying? And that's real. But for me, I don't need any validation because I already been through the real shit. You know what I'm saying? And what somebody thinks about me ain't none of my spiritual business. You feel what I'm saying? But what changed for me is understanding that, and the person that you're talking about, you know, bro, I've been through a lot of trauma. You feel what I'm saying? Like, I've been through things that scarred me like you wouldn't believe. And I walked around with that on me like a bag of, you know, like a bricks of 1,000 pounds on my back every day. So when you saw me, that's who you saw.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You saw somebody like, I'm gonna take care of me no matter what. You know, ain't nobody finna play with me because I don't been played with enough. So you just, all that ego and trauma built up. And, you know, when you're successful and you walking around with that, that's dangerous, bro, because you got power. You got influence. And you're doing and you're saying things that people are watching and you're not even happy. You know what I'm saying? And for me, it was just like, when I started to get outside of the box and live for me and not worry about the validation, and I took that, you know, that bag of bricks, and which Verzuz was a lot of that. Like, I don't need that no more. It don't serve me. You know what I'm saying? It served me at one point. It did.
Right.
But at this day, I'm like, why am I bringing my ego? If I bring my ego, we didn't have to even come in the building. We could have dealt with this outside. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not bringing that no more, because at the end of the day, when I'm watching, you know, people around me, my peers and everybody going through things, you know, Nipsey, that hit me hard. You know what I'm saying? You know, this kid, P&D Rock, hit me hard, because it's just like somebody's ego is involved in that.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, for myself, it's like, you don't have no ego when you are a man. You know what I mean? First, it's like the rapper thing, you have to live up to what people think that is. But as a man, you're going to have, you know, morals, integrities, and value. And that's what I had. And I had to exchange that for, you know, a life where I don't feel like, you know, I'm walking around with a chip on my shoulder, because I can see you and greet you because it's love there. We have history.
Look, even having a public relationship, I was like, yo, this is a whole new person, man. This is letting us as, you know, I mean, I know you personally, but
keep it private as possible, though.
Yeah, but there was you still shared more than I had ever seen you share.
But you said something earlier when you said you hate OG but love Big Homie.
Yeah.
Can you explain that?
I mean, because I just feel like OG is an ignorant term. Ain't nothing original about gangster. Ain't no OG ever did nothing, ever gave me no game. Ain't never taught me nothing. But I had some big homies that I feel like we just talked about Ken Austin, which was one of my mentors and one of my good friends that I had Avion Tequila with. He taught me the spirit game. You know what I'm saying? He showed me how to get out of that rapper mind state and make some real paper and do some real deals, and also how to sit down and negotiate these things. So when it was time, when I sold Avion and we sold our shares, and I was able to go to Naud and say, hey, look, this is the type of deal that I want to do. But that came from me sitting around my guy, he giving me the game. That ain't my OG, that's my big homie. You know what I'm saying? Because he's giving me something I don't have, which is knowledge, which is data. You know what I'm saying? Which is understanding. And he's talking to me because we have a relationship, so he's making me understand. So my thing is, if one of these young cats come to me and ask me a question, I want to give them an answer as a big homie. I want to give them an answer as somebody that care about you, that want to see you do better and possibly better than me. You know what I'm saying? Rather than, go do this because I haven't been through it and I know. Like, that ain't real.
That distinction, I get it. Right. That's an interesting distinction.
Right, because now you're giving somebody to do what you do emotionally because I have some type of hold on you because you feel like, I've done something that you haven't done because I've been around. And don't get it confused. Like, you could be here forever and still be dumb as fuck. You know what I'm saying?
That's so true.
And we see a lot of that of people who perpetuate this idea that they have somehow survived the game, but they're stuck in the same place.
Survivor's remorse. Right. I went through that a lot. And again,
well, no, not necessarily survivor's remorse. I'm more speaking to individuals who consider themselves OGs. Right. But haven't left the block. They still in the same place. They living in the same place. They stuck, and they perpetuate this idea that they are, somehow more knowledgeable or should be leadership in some way, but haven't actually been able to take the information, apply it, and become wise. Right,
but you have to understand, and I've been in that situation too with people I respect. It's trauma bonding, bro. I know you hurt. I know you damaged goods. I'm gonna show you a little bit of love, make you feel like you're a part of something. But if something happens to you, it don't matter because you're exposed. But I can go get another one of you and do the same thing. And that's why you have the repeated cycle, which I respect this generation. They ain't respecting no OGs. They going out and getting their own money, making their own rules. I mean, some of the stuff they do is questionable, but it's just like, when they get it together, they're gonna be powerful because that's what it's about. And my thing is, how could you respect or call somebody an OG? An OG is an original gangster. There's nothing original about gangsters. There's nothing original about gangsters. But a big homie, that's somebody who got unconditional love for me. And even if I bump my head or do something wrong, he gonna pull me to the side and be like, yo, I'm not gonna tell you what to do. But, if you ever thought about, it's a suggestion. It's not like, you do this because I've been through something that's real. And even all the OGs I know that I felt like I knew, they never had no values or no morals. You know what I'm saying? They did not. They didn't even have integrity. You know what I'm saying? Which is why I loved Pac more than any other artist because he had morals and rules and values in his music. No matter if they was right or wrong, it was a template. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, at least for you to know enough about, standing for something, because a lot of the people that I was around, they didn't stand for anything. You know what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't nothing that was real about them. And you never know who somebody is until they don't get what they want. And I've been in situations with people who I thought, wanted me to do better. And the minute I did, I had to go to war with them. You know what I'm saying? I had to push the line, because now it's like, I gave you respect, you ain't giving me none back because you feel like either you older than me, or you know something I don't know, or in your mind you thinking because they got more money.
Or I'm supposed to always be under you and you don't see me. Right. You don't want to see me shine.
Right.
You also talked about what was that? How business came to you first. Like
business came
like
first.
in terms of music was always something you were good at,
Right.
but business was your passion.
Correct.
Which is interesting because you've always been so good at the business part of it. I never thought about what an advantage that is, that you already came into it thinking, I'm an entrepreneur. This is now the way that I have an in. I wonder, do you ever look around at other people? So you were in the Jeezy business.
Right.
I wonder if you ever look around at other people's businesses and go, man, if I was in that person's spot, what you could have done with that?
I'm gonna tell you two things. So the first thing is I came in the game. I said I was corporate thugging.
Yeah.
I did.
Yep.
That's what I was gonna do. I was gonna be a corporate thug. You see it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's all funny till you find out the guy in the baseball cap, the guys in the suits work for him. You know what I'm saying? So it's that. And then I also said it was thug motivation, meaning that I was carving my lane. Like what I'm doing is it's a product, it's a thing, it's an experience. Like you come over here, I'm gonna tell you about how I evolved from the street. And that was what I did. But if you ask me, when I look at Magic Johnson, I'm like, that's business, bro. You know what I'm saying? You look at somebody like who's a great friend of mine, like Tony Robbins. Mm-hmm. He get it. Like he packaged himself and he makes these businesses around who he is. And for me, like when I see stuff like that, that's inspiration for me because I understand there's no glass ceiling for that. And I always hear people like, oh, you've been doing this so long, whatever. Like, ain't no expiration date on being successful, man. Ain't no expiration date on taking care of your people. Ain't no expiration date for bringing, giving people an opportunity they would never have. Ain't no expiration date on inspiring people, motivating people, none of that. Ain't no expiration date on money. You know what I'm saying? And it definitely ain't no expiration date on bills. Right. Let's be clear. You feel me? So when I see that, it just, and I talk to Tony, like, Tony all the time. John Maxwell's another one of my guys. Robert Greene, I go sit down and have lunch with him. And, if you guys don't know Robert
Who's Robert Greene?
Robert Greene is, he wrote 48 Laws of Power, Art of Seduction,
Yeah.
all those books. I sit down with him and, have lunch and ask questions, but not because I want to know, but then also how do I package this up, the knowledge I learned, and put it in whatever I have to translate it to my people. Like, there's another way to go about this, or this is what I learned. And again, going back to that Recession album, I learned a lot of things. You know what I'm saying? So I put it in the music.
You were on the episode of the show on HBO with Kanye that they yanked.
I was.
What was there anything in that conversation that when they yanked it, you was like, oh, I see why they yanked it? Or did they just want to stay away from the Kanye West?
I mean, I couldn't tell you that. I could just tell you that, whatever was said, or whatever reason, I just was there to do my thing. But again, it's not my business or place to speak on another man.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's just how I'm rocking. But, I'm quite sure when one of them come up here, they can kind of break it down to you. But I was a little like, damn, they canceled me, so I got to go see Ebro now. I got
caught in the twist.
I got to go see Ebro now. I got a project coming out, Snofall. Shout out to Snofall right now. But, things
But
work
you
out.
understood why they took it off.
I could understand. I can't say I understood why they took it off. I just know that I came there, we did it, and then I got a call and said it was a wrap.
Right.
I didn't take it personally.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm sure they were apologetic to you.
Yeah.
I would think.
Yeah.
But they'll probably have you back on for another one.
They already hit me up.
Yeah, they'll probably have you
They
back.
said they wanted me to come back. I think this one was with, it gets better. They want me to come back with Tyler Perry, so we'll see how this goes. I don't know if I'm supposed to say that, but there it is. On Ebro, right here.
Yeah, exclusive. So I guess the other piece I would love to hear from you about is, being a new parent.
Right.
After you had, how many kids do you have now?
I have 3.
3.
Right.
But now you have, how old's your youngest now?
9 months.
9 months.
Yeah.
What is that experience like? After you had children, you got kids, your oldest is 20-something.
Yeah, he's 24.
Yeah. What's that experience for you?
Well, my son taught me to be a man. Like, he just made me get a sense of responsibility at a young age. And I really started figuring my life out after that. My second daughter, my middle child, she gave me a sense of purpose. Like she made me know, like, look, this is for us. My last daughter, she was the glue. She brought it all back together, but she inspired me again. You know what I'm saying? Like, she just made me just understand, like, you still got work to do. And then when she gets older, I want her to know what her dad done too. I don't want to fall off now. You know what I'm saying? You at the park and you walking there like, yeah, that used to be, but one thing I can say is just like, it's all about, just like having something to do it for. And when you got people who love you no matter what, you know what I'm saying, you go out here and give it your all, because win, lose, or draw, when you come home, you still the king.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They love you for that,
Have you had a chance to go?
But to answer your question, she taught me patience.
Right.
Because I've been grinding so long and going and just going. It's just like, you got to be patient.
Slow down.
And you have to be present and intentional.
Have you had a chance to go to, because I think your lady is from the Bay, right? She's from the Bay Area.
Yeah.
Have you had a chance to go to the Bay where she's from and be in the hood with the Asians in the hood from San Francisco to really experience that? Because a lot of people don't really know.
Yeah, it's
you ain't never seen that old Chinatown, San Francisco, Bay Area, hood Asian thing before.
Yeah, it's almost like they on what we on.
Yeah.
Listen to the same music.
Oh, no, they came up around black folks.
Right, it's the same thing. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But it's something in the water in the Bay anyway, though, because everybody out there they just got like an extra energy and charisma. It's just different.
This Bay is a whole different place.
But it's they on the same thing we on. It's crazy. It's crazy.
I wanna get into this new single. I ain't gonna hold you. How many records we getting from you and Drama?
17 joints, Snofall. It was inspired, just a lot of people don't know me and Drama got a long history. We doing these B-side concerts right now. Shout out to ATL. We just did ATL. We doing Detroit next, and then Miami. Where we doing all our mixtape classics. Nobody, don't get a chance to perform, so it's going crazy. But getting back with Drama and just linking back up, just put me back in that, that mode. It's like, I don't know, it's like Pippen and Jordan and Kobe getting together, have a little scrimmage game or something at the crib. It's just like, it's fun, but you getting a chance to show where you at and where you came from, and then put it in the music, because it's just like you still kicking that snow, but you can hear, where you evolved at, but it's like it's no expectations. It's just like straight drop. You know what I'm saying? This ain't about no label. This ain't about this is what we do and we love. Like, again, if Pippen and Jordan came over each other's house and just playing ball in the backyard, of course they're gonna play hard enough to play. They gonna kill each other, but it's gonna be fun to watch, because these are two greats.
When it was announced that Rihanna was gonna do the Super Bowl, we were debating in studio, who is she gonna call?
Jeezy coming out.
She ain't called me yet.
Well, listen, she's still, according to reports, she's still trying to figure it out.
Yeah, tell her, give me a call. 404.
Jeezy ready.
I'm ready.
Do you said earlier, we were talking about validation and ego. This is all stuff I'm very into discussing, because it gets at all of us in one way or another.
Yeah.
Are you comfortable with your legacy musically? Like, when people put out these lists, everyone loves to put out an MC list. You may not be a guy who ends up getting the billing, the top 10 credit for how a lot of
from
people
the South put together a list.
so-
He on that joint.
Well, yeah, but it's a lot of East Coast minded snobs like us. So you never know.
Right.
Do you care about that? Does it mean anything to you?
I'm gonna be honest, man. Like, I learned a long time ago, like, we don't worry about the accolades that come with it. It's just like every hood, every ghetto, every penitentiary, every country, every city where there's some struggle and things are real, like, they know who I am, and they got love for me. I could be on vacation, snowman, you know what I mean? I've been in Italy, you know what I'm saying, on a yacht, I'm chilling, and people like, snow. I'm like, oh, shit. But it's just like, I don't really care about the awards or the credit. I just care that I'm affecting people. You know what I'm saying? I care that people got a natural and genuine love for me that you can't buy. I appreciate that people have a respect for me And I love when I go in rooms and I'm doing business and people know not to talk to me crazy because I'm still that guy too. You know what I'm saying? It's just like,
Confirmed.
it's just a respect thing there because it's just like, I see you, I know where you come from, I know where you're going, I know where you at. But it's just like, but at the same time, it's not like one song. It's like, bro, you did so much for my life. It's like I got so much money listening to you. It's like, I saw somebody the other day, it was like, man, you know how big my real estate portfolio is because of you? You know what I mean? That's what
You know how
I
many
do.
people I bet lost weight
Right.
in the gym?
Right.
Listening to you?
Right.
You
But
know?
even myself, you know what I mean? That was something that I had to figure out because when I was ego tripping, I wasn't going to be in no gym listening to no trainer. I don't like to be told what to do. I ain't with all you know what I'm saying? So it's just like when I figured that out, you know what I'm saying, and I started losing weight and you know, get myself right, I started to see a lot of my homies and my peers going to the gym too because now it was a thing. And I just feel like as long as you got that respect, I don't think that, you know, it don't matter about lists because that's just somebody's opinion. And again, what somebody thinks about me ain't none of my spiritual business. Like, this is what I do. I've been doing it for a long enough time to know that I matter in this. And I'm still going. I still feel young.
How'd you get to that thing that you said it twice now and it's really good, the not my spiritual business?
Right.
How'd you get there?
I mean, because it's just like if I worry about what everybody else saying, I'm living for them and not me. You know, I got to live for me, bro, because I only get one time at this.
One time.
The only life I got. You know what I mean? And when it's said and done, I don't want any regret saying that I didn't do this because I was concerned what somebody was going to say or somebody was going to feel. Because one thing I do know, man, you can do it however you want to do it. You are not going to make everybody happy.
Nope.
So just make sure your star player is happy.
Yeah.
Yourself. Make sure that,
Everyone's the Jordan of their own life.
Right. So just make sure your star player is happy and the team will be okay.
Well said.
We've been talking about evolving, and you and Gucci are two people that are in beautiful places, you
Right.
know, from the outside looking in. Now, going back to that Verzuz, how do you feel about it overall? Like, how did you feel it went? Are you happy with the turnout?
Well,
It was tense.
Yeah, I mean, and it is, you know, but it took that for us to be able to, you know, be on the stage and on tour. And for me, again, that goes with that bag of bricks. You know, I can't keep walking around with that on my back. You know what I'm saying? And for me, I was just like, yo, if it took something that started, of course, I ain't gonna get into the details, but if it took something that started in the streets and now we got to settle this or put this in a place where we can coexist, you know, on a platform of a multi-billion-dollar corporation, which was Apple.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, what does that say? That shows you how big. And by the way, they sold it right after our Verzuz. If they Swiss and them sold it. So Tim and Swiss, they need to holler. You know what I'm saying? But it was just one of those things where, for me, I'm in such a good place in my life. I just don't even want no bad, just energy. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what it is. And at the end of the day, you know, it went well, meaning like nothing happened. And we was able to go on.
And you had an
live.
after party too, didn't you?
Yeah, it was lit.
Yeah.
Together.
It was love.
Which was
Yeah.
great.
Love.
I'm not going to say everybody in there was, you know, there was a lot of, you know, look at the stand going on, but
COVID, by the way, was in the building.
yeah, COVID was there deep. COVID had his own section.
Everybody
own
got
bottles.
that. Everybody had that.
COVID was in VIP popping bottles.
Right, it was lit.
Do you you know, have other chapters of your life that you're still working to close?
Oh
that-
yeah, of course. And again, like, you know,
Or let's call it the bag of other
bag of
bags that
brick.
you got to put down.
well, let me say this because, you know, I definitely want to say that, like, I'm not perfect by any chance, but everything to me is a work in progress. And what I've really been working on lately, that means, you know, a lot to me is nourishing my relationships. And even the ones that I didn't nourish before. Because, you know, again, there's a lot of people that was around me when I was on that. And there's a lot of things that I did that wasn't right based off my trauma and how I felt, me looking at somebody like they wanted something from me or my ego. And I just been making sure that I'm intentional about reconnecting with people and going, hey, look, you know, I'm really in a different place right now. You know what I'm saying? I really learned some things, you know what I'm saying? And I appreciate, you know, the relationship we had. And if we can, you know, figure something out, it's still all love. You know, that's what even the Gibbs things was about. You know what I'm saying? It was just like, I seen him, it was like, it wasn't that.
I spoke to him about it, and
I'm not there.
Yeah.
You in his new album, Freddie Gibbs album,
Yeah,
which
shout
he's
out.
got a phenomenal album. I don't know if you spent time with it.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah.
And by the way, I already knew that. I mean, I knew he was going to be a star with or without me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, again, you know, it's about communicating and letting your ego not lead. And I'm really intentional about making sure that I reconnect with a lot of people. Not no kumbaya, but just like if I had love for you and it was my wrongdoing or me reacting to what you did to me, then, you know, especially if you mean me well, like if you mean me harm or something, like ain't no way in hell. But if it's love and it's been love, but we had a miscommunication, somebody was talking through somebody else and the word didn't get to me, and you know that happened before. People think you ain't keeping your word, but you talking to somebody else. You got my line, hit me directly. So now you don't want to really, you know, you don't really want to engage with me, and now I'm feeling like, well, fuck it, there, you know what I mean? Right. But it ain't that. It's just like, nah, bro, listen, and you have a conversation. But to me, it's just like my biggest regret was and still will be how I nourished my relationships in the beginning, because I had no idea that 10 years later that would affect me. You know what I'm saying?
I think that's a victory, too.
Of course.
I don't think a lot of people, and obviously me pushing 50, you know, when you're in your 20s, obviously you think you're invincible. Right? You think you know everything. You think you got it figured out, and, you know, you got all the time in the world. Right? And then you evolve and you start to, it's amazing to hear you say what you're saying, but I think part of that is the victory of life.
Yes.
That you even get time.
Right.
To reconnect, put baggage down, learn from mistakes. Not everybody get that time.
Right.
Not everybody has enough time to even get to where you are in life to go, yo, I'm a double back on some things and make sure that I, you know, make it right.
But you got to do the work on yourself first.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's all mindset, you know what I'm saying? And it's all being at peace. You know, you can't beat yourself up because you made mistakes. But if you got a chance, you know, I had that happen with family, even my mother. You know, we had a rocky past, and my mother passed. You know, I was one of the things that I was like, I'm glad I got a chance to like spend some time with her and like just tell her, like, you know, I understand what it's like to be a parent, because I am one now. There's a lot of times, you know, me and my son go through like real things, and I'm just like, damn, you know, I can't be his best friend. I gotta be his dad at this point. So, you know, just reconnecting with people, it just puts you at peace, because everything's either a misunderstanding or about expectations. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, if you know that, I don't have to react because you upset about something. You know what I'm saying? We could talk about it. We can agree to disagree. But I got love for you, so why am I going in the relationship with Ebro when I know me and him talk?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Consistently, and chop it up.
Right.
You know, and I call you about advice and you call me about stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
That's the brotherhood, but we ain't gotta agree.
No, you ain't always gonna agree.
Right.
And you ain't supposed to always agree.
Right.
And that's not even how it works. Right. There's a lot of BMF out. Right. A lot of TV show. I think 50 he did the TV show. He's doing a doc or another show too that is coming soon. You came up during that. You saw it.
Right.
Yeah, you was coming up as an artist at that time. Right. You know some of these guys. Do you like what you're seeing? What's the... I'm very happy for Lil Young Meech and his acting career. So you got a chance to speak to him?
Yeah, I said that's some real Ice Cube shit.
Yo, that shit is...
You know what I'm saying? And I'm glad that everything didn't go in vain.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And people wouldn't just... and, you know, Meech, that's my bro. You know, no matter what. I'm going to always have love for him. And I'm happy that something came out of it. You know what I'm saying? And people ask me all the time why you ain't involved. Like, that's not my story to tell. You know what I'm saying? Like, my story is my story, his story, his story. And I just knowing who he is as a person and how much he poured into people, I'm glad people get a chance to see. And
you love how it's being shown. Like, what you're seeing is like, yes, it's a home run.
Right. No, and I'm happy because, you know, just in his position, you know, you got to lay there at night and be like, damn, you know what I'm saying? Because it could be worse.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? It could be that, him being in there and nothing being shown. But now it's just like people get a chance to like live through him.
No, but his son's acting, bro.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
I don't know if you had a chance yet, or have you watched it, right? Did you watch it?
Yeah.
bro.
Right, no, it's crazy. Some Ice Cube shit. What's Ice Cube's son?
Yeah.
O'Shea Jackson
O'Shea
Jr.
Jr.
Yeah, the same shit. Like you put him in position, and O'Shea took off.
Yeah, man. Look, this guy's Young Jeezy.
sure.
More Jeezy than Young, but you know he's still in the game. Look at his skin. I mean, he looks
looks
young.
great.
Yeah,
He looks great.
Trying to get that Defiance fuel I'm
You
drinking
know what I'm
over here.
saying?
Yeah,
Something's
hydrated.
going right. Yo, shout out! You got an EST chain on. Shout out to
Yeah,
ESTG.
shout out to ESTG, man. You know, ESTG the only one that ever gave me a chain, man. Shout out to,
Word.
yeah, I ain't never gotten it. That's why I'm wearing it.
Yo, so this
'Cause I
young
wanna rap
kid,
him.
this young kid out of Louisville, Kentucky,
That's dope.
who
Yeah, you feel me? I gave away a
ESTG,
lot of chains.
yo,
Might give
ESTG is one of the most promising rappers,
Yeah, no, he's
storytellers coming up.
Yeah, he's dope.
I first time I heard him was on Jack Harlow's album on that Route 66.
Kentucky, boy.
And now you got a verse on his joint.
Yeah, the realest.
Yo, and his audience,
Right.
I don't think you pay that much attention to social media, but you know, I'm in there looking around, seeing what people saying. They was so hyped to hear you on that album, bro.
Yeah, no, it was dope. Shout out to Nigel, shout out to Chop. You know, I love to see it. You know, he hit me up about the BET Awards. I was like, man, I don't even do that no more. For you,
I'm here.
I'm here, man. I'm gonna pull up. It's in my city. That's easy. I'll be there.
Yeah.
But shout out to G, man. I mean, I just, you know, he just a solid guy, man. There's a few of these guys I really take to. You know what I'm saying? And I'm always here for them if they need, you know, just some advice or insight because, you know, I care. I want to see them be good. You know
Big homie.
Yeah, the big homie.
The big homie. The big homie, Young Jeezy.
There
Give
he
it up
is.
one time, man. Get that
For
A
sure.
project. Snowfall,
love,
Jeezy,
Snowfall.
DJ Drama.
There it is.
There it is.
My guy.